Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is May and I'm a final year vet student at Cambridge, and today I'm going to share with you a favorite book of mine that has been helping me cope with final year so far. The Chimp Paradox by Steve Peters. Hopefully it will provide some valuable insights to you as it did to me. So the premise of the book is talking about the human mind and the human brain. We all know that the human brain is complicated, but in this book he simplifies it down to three main components of the brain. He calls it the chimp management model. You have your human, your chimp, and the computer, and respectively the brain parts are the frontal, the limbic, and the parietal. So if you're still with me and you can get on board with the fact that there are three different parts of the human brain, the human, chimp, and the computer, they're all functioning together at the same time, and often the human and the chimp will run into conflict. So the inner chimp is the part of you where you carry out emotional judgments, your first impressions about people, your quick jumping to conclusions, that part of you. The human is more rational. They gather evidence, make decisions based on logic thinking, so that's the human. The computer is something that you put inputs and cues that you learned when you were young. It can be helpful or unhelpful. So the chimp's main purpose is for survival and self-propagation of a species because it is an animal. The human, on the other hand, has a societal agenda and wants to achieve self-fulfillment. And yeah, in our day-to-day lives, our human and our chimp are constantly interacting, and he talks about how you manage your chimp and how you manage your emotions, and I found that part of the book the most useful to me because in a veterinary degree it is stressful and you got to learn how to manage your emotions and how to cope with all these different stresses in our day-to-day life. One of the first things I will share with you is about the Moon of Confidence chapter. As a person who's always struggled with confidence and googling countless of times how to have more confidence, how to build more confidence in yourself, I found that his framework in this book is really useful to think about confidence in a different way. So the chimp is basing confidence on my belief in ability to reach certain levels that I have to achieve, and I cannot deal with the consequences of not reaching them. The human, however, is basing confidence on doing my best to reach certain levels I would like to achieve, and as an adult, I can always deal with any consequences of not reaching them. For me, that statement was particularly powerful because in my head, I can now reassure myself that it really is not the end of the world if I can't achieve something. As an adult, and I am an adult, I like to think, I can deal with the consequences, and it just shifts my perspective of how to think about confidence. In the vet degree or in university, at Cambridge, everybody else is so amazing. You tend to compare yourself to other people, and you also get people who just nail every exam and nail every clinical skill, and you're just like, how are you so amazing? Sometimes it kind of hurts your self-esteem and confidence when you compare yourself to them and be like, oh, why can't I pick it up as quick as they can? But I have to reassure myself and keep telling myself that the more I practice a skill, I will get better at it, and if I don't the first time or the first couple of times, it's okay. Reassuring and understanding this and reminding yourself constantly about this is really useful. To give a further example, at the moment you're not great at suturing and practicals, or you're not good at rectally palpating cows, or you're not good at presenting a case in front of clinicians, it's fine because you are in vet school and this is where you learn. This is where you're learning how to get better in it. And if you don't ask for help, ask for tips from clinicians and everything, don't get into a fear mind state where you're constantly doubting yourself. It's unproductive because you want to push yourself to do more of those things that you're not good at. So like do more suturing, do more rectal palpating, present more cases, because the more you do it, the more you get better at it and the more you build confidence. It's a skill, basically. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the more you get stronger and the better you will become. To recap, using the human definition, you are basing your confidence on doing your best to reach levels that you would like to achieve, and as an adult, you can always deal with any consequences of not reaching them. So by that definition, you can always do your best. If you fail, you deal with the consequences, and therefore, there is no fear. Yes, sounds easy, I know. Practicing takes a little bit harder, but we got the theory down. Lastly, I want to talk about the chapter called Moon of Security. So, security is our need to feel safe in our surroundings and our troop. The chimp finds security in its external surroundings, whereas the human finds their security in their own internal beliefs. This is problematic for the chimp because it tries to remove any source of risk or vulnerability to find security in its external surroundings, and that's just not possible because, newsflash, life is unpredictable. We're sitting in a pandemic as we speak. There's a lot of uncertainty going on at the moment. Who could have seen this coming, right? who could have? And the human knows this. The human knows that this is not possible. So there are some ways that you can help your chimp feel better about this. One of the things is acceptance. Accept that life is unpredictable, and with everything there is always a risk, but you can accept that risk and come to terms with it. For example, we're in a pandemic now and we just have to accept this and find ways to cope with it. Find ways to keep yourself and others safe, keep yourself healthy. So accept it, try not to worry too much about it. Another example would be, there is a risk that I may fail my veterinary degree. That is a risk. I mean, it's not ideal if it happens, but I have to accept that that is a risk and find ways to mitigate that risk, such as prepare well for my exams and keep up to date with my projects and practicals and everything. But I have to reassure myself that if I fail, it's not the end of the world. I can retake the exam, prepare extra hard for the next time when that happens. But touch wood, I don't want to fail. Okay, so understanding that feeling insecure from time to time is normal. You are a normal human being. That's just how we are programmed to be. So accept that you can feel insecure from time to time, but make sure you take care of it. Seek help from friends or professionals with any insecurities that you have. Can be useful. Really useful to talk about it to another person, but also care not to put all your security onto one person. For example, like in a relationship, it is very risky because the person can always leave. And if you put all your security based on this one person and the person leaves, it is a recipe for disaster. Reassurance. So reassurance is something that we can help with our insecurity. But my personal opinion is you don't want to keep seeking reassurance from everybody around you. You've got to reassure yourself sometimes, because otherwise you're just reliant on other people's validations and reassurance. In this book, he talks about, for example, if you're at work and you feel insecure, it could be because you're not really sure what your role at work is and how you're doing at work. So one of the things that's useful is to establish a clear role on what your job is at work and know your boundaries and know what you're meant to be doing. And also it's useful to ask for feedback to see how you are doing at work, and also be proactive to ask how else can I be better and how you could improve in any areas of weaknesses. Being proactive and practical, taking these steps can help calm your chimp down. So that was pretty much what I wanted to share with you in this video. I would really recommend this book. I know that it doesn't sound very scientific, but if you read the book and understand the frameworks of how to manage your emotions, I think it's really good. And also lastly, I'm by no means a professional mind management person or anything. If you have issues or problems, you should definitely see a professional counselor or get professional help. But yeah, I hope this video was useful to you. Anyway, take care, stay safe, and see you in the next video.